talk a little bit more about yoga. When I was in New York, Jonathan mentioned that it would be a really great thing to try. So I'm really excited today to get some more answers to some questions and to learn a little bit more about yoga. So today I'm lucky enough to be here with Jessa. She teaches yoga, and at the time you were getting your residency for...
Yeah, I'm actually in my clinical training to become a psychotherapist.
That's so awesome. I
Thank
love that.
you.
And we're also have her little dog here,
Sebastian.
Sebastian. He's going to join us for the day. Maybe he can teach us some downward dog.
Yep, downward dog, upward dog, definitely. Very good at them.
Perfect. I love that. So can you tell me some health benefits to yoga?
Yeah, I mean, really there's nothing unhealthy about yoga. Everything about it is healthy. In terms of the physical benefits of yoga, it really is very toning all over for your body, and it really builds both strength and flexibility, which a lot of things at the gym can't do. The flexibility piece is really key in my mind.
Right. So what are some of the mental benefits of doing yoga?
Well, you know, yoga ultimately at the end of the day is really about quieting down your mind. And when you really start to focus on your breath and your body, it's this amazing way of becoming really in tune with yourself. And, you know, to me, that's just such an amazing benefit because it starts to feel like you really have choices in your life when you start to do deep listening, you know what I mean? So in that way, it's just really great for reducing stress, anxiety, it's great for depression. And you know, something else I really value about it is that it's a practice. And so it sort of mirrors life in that way when you sort of just show up every day on your mat without expectations, you know, and you just do your practice. Slowly things sort of change and grow and evolve. And when I keep that in mind, it sort of reminds me in my general life to do the same thing. Just show up and do your best, and things always change and shift.
And we lost Sebastian. He's
very busy.
He's uninterested in us right now.
I had to go practice some yoga. So
Right.
he'll be back maybe.
So something that I've heard about yoga is that it's something to do to tone up after you kind of have the body that you want, that it's not a great way to lose weight.
You know, I haven't really heard that exact thing. I mean, certainly there are different levels of yoga, and some yoga is more focused on sitting and stretching and releasing, and then, you know, there are other forms of yoga, mainly like Ashtanga or Vinyasa flow, that are very aerobic and very rigorous, and I would imagine very helpful for losing weight.
Right. So do you think just doing basic yoga is good for losing weight?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing to do is to learn how to do the poses properly and well aligned so that you don't injure yourself. And once you do that, then I think sort of starting to go to the flow classes and opening up that whole world could be really exciting and really helpful for weight loss, for sure.
That makes me happy to hear that, because I want to have a new relationship with exercising. I feel like all this negative energy towards exercising really hard, and I want to just enjoy exercising and feel good about it. So
I get that. It's, you know, especially in LA, you go to the gym and everyone's like so. I think, you know, going to yoga and having the exercise part there, and also sort of the energy, the positive energy coming in is great. It would be perfect for you.
Awesome. Something else I really wanted to do is do yoga with my little girl. Can you tell me some benefits of doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, for kids to start to have that relationship with their bodies from a young age is a great idea, and, you know, it's a great bonding thing for moms and kids to do together. And, you know, also something that's sort of fun for kids is that, you know, all the poses have names like tree pose and crow pose and flying pigeon or downward dog, so it's sort of fun for them to like get imaginative, and they're like warrior pose, or, you know, whatever it is.
I think my little boy would really like the warrior
warrior pose, sure.
I would be like, we're going to do that, and he's like, okay, I'm a superhero.
Exactly. Yeah, they can be imaginative with it.
That's so fun. I also want my kids to know that there are different ways to exercise. You don't have to like kill yourself. You can enjoy it, because I feel like we're kind of taught that that exercise is this hard thing and you have to work hard, but
it's like torture or something.
So what would someone do like me? I've never done yoga before. I don't even have an idea of how to do it. What would you recommend for someone like me to get started?
Well, in an ideal world, I think it's always nice to have like a one-on-one instructor. And, historically, yoga is an ancient practice that was passed from one teacher to a student. It wasn't like in a class setting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think, ideally it's nice to have a teacher that can sort of help you get your alignment right and sort of watch you carefully. Obviously, that's not accessible for everybody.
Right.
So, if you can get your hands on a really good video, that's a good way to start. And then just go to level 1-2 classes, where the teacher teaches you the basics. The risk of going to a really advanced class right away is that you do things improperly and start to hurt yourself, especially women who are probably flexible and, so that can be dangerous. But yeah, I would say either a video, a teacher, or a level 1 class.
Okay, and if you're doing a video, would you recommend using a mirror?
Yeah, I think that could be helpful. The one thing about that is, I feel like you can get into that trap of being like, do I look okay? Do I look like the person in the video? Yeah, and it's definitely not about achieving like the highest level of the pose, It's more about getting in touch with your own body and, the benefits for you. It can be a really individual practice.
Okay. And are there any videos that you would recommend that you feel like are really good? Basic?
There's so many out there. I did all of my training at YogaWorks, and I think the teachers there are incredible. And I know if you go to their website, I'm pretty sure that they have some videos from there. So I would say that's a good place to start.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I feel like I've learned a lot already, and I'm
Oh,
feeling
good.
really, really good about this. And hopefully all of you have learned a little bit more about yoga. Would you be willing to show us some basic poses?
Absolutely, I would love to.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Great. Okay, so the first pose we're going to look at is called Tadasana, aka mountain pose. And it's just a standing pose, and it seems really basic and kind of boring, but if you can really get this pose, it's the foundation for all the other poses, even the most advanced poses.
Okay.
Okay, so come with your feet together. Have your big toes touching your heels slightly apart. Have your arms down at your side, and then open your palms forward. Okay, good. So stay like that. And now just some really basic little things. I want you to imagine that you're rolling your inner thighs towards the back of the yard.
Okay.
And then lift your chest up and pull your shoulder heads back. Good. Okay, so you'll notice when you roll your inner thighs back, your butt kind of pops out, right? See if you can keep the lift of your chest, but then pull your tailbone down towards your heels.
Holy moly, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah, I know, it really can be. So you might feel like when you lift your chest and pull your tailbone down, you'll feel an engagement in your middle. Do you feel that at all?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. So let's just stand here for just one little second and keep working those actions, lifting the chest, pulling the tailbone down, shoulder heads back. Good. And then soften the eyes, soften the face.
No.
It's only yoga.
That's making me want to laugh.
Good. Okay, so let's move on from here.
Okay.
We're now going to do plank pose, which is basically the same thing, but you're on the ground.
Okay.
So both hands go underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide. And then you'll step your legs back. Feet are going to be hip width apart. You're going to press the ground away so the upper back rounds, and at the same time try and pull your chest forward. And then it's the same thing. The butt's going to want to pop up, so pull the tailbone down to the heels, and again stretch the chest forward. So the last thing I'm going to show you is downward facing dog. Very important basic pose in the practice. And I'll start off, I'll just show it to you first so you get a visual of it. And then we'll link all of them together in what we call a vinyasa, which only means linking breath and movement all together.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, so the easiest way to get into downward dog is to come onto your hands and knees. Have your knees right underneath your hips and your hands shoulder distance apart right underneath your shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes under and then literally press into the ground with your hands and just lift your hips up and back, coming as close to straight legs as you can. Bent knees is also fine if that works better for you. The last thing I think we should try and do before we end is just sort of link it all together in what we call a vinyasa.
Okay.
So why don't I just show you what it's going to look like so that again you have a visual, and then we'll do it together.
Perfect.
Okay, so You can watch me from the side, feet together. You're just gonna take a deep breath in, inhaling, looking up, and then exhale, hinging at the hips with a flat back, fold forward. You're gonna place your palms flat on the ground, bending your knees. We'll step it back into plank. Just take one breath or so here, and then press the ground away, lift the hips up and back, and come into downward dog. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
I hope so. Yes, I am.
Let's do it. Okay. Deep inhale, reach the arms up, look up, and exhale, spread the arms open, fold forward. Good. Place the fingertips on the shins. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, bend your knees, place the palms flat, and step back to plank pose. Good. Kayli, let's take one big inhale here. And exhale, press the ground away, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. And you might need to walk your feet in a little bit. Good, let's walk the feet forward. Place your hands on your hips. And come on up to stand. Good job, that was awesome.
That's fun. I'm really excited.
Oh, I'm so glad, it was fun.
I feel good. I've heard a lot of people say there's so many things to think about when you're doing yoga, and there really is, but it feels so good.
Oh, I'm so glad, I'm so glad.
Okay, so I just have one more favor to ask you. Can you show us some of those fun moves that we can show our kids?
For sure.
I know I want to see them
too. For sure. I think tree pose is one that they all seem to enjoy. This is tree pose. Hands at the heart. And then, sometimes you sway in the wind a little bit too. It's all good. And then the warrior poses that you said your son might enjoy.
Yes.
This is warrior 2. It's a really strong, bold pose, you know. And then crow pose is kind of fun, and it's not too hard, and kids really like it. That's just like a beginning balancing arm balance. That's it.
How fun. They would be really proud of that one.
Oh,
I think they would be showing everyone.
Good.
So one last thing, could you maybe show us some advanced move or some really cool yoga move?
Oh man. Wow, this is one of my favorite arm balances. I love it because it's a twist and an arm balance. So hopefully I can do it. We'll see. There it is.
Wow.
And then you jump it back and finish your vinyasa. There you go.
So cool. One day I'm gonna do that. Thank you so much. I've had the best time and I've learned so much. You've given me so much information, and I'm sure that the viewers at home feel the same way. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was a lot of fun.
Fun.
A lot of you have let me know down in the comments below that you do yoga and you love it, and I see why now. If any of you are now thinking about trying yoga, please let me know. I love hearing from you guys, and I really appreciate you taking me along with you on your journey. So we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.